everybody, it's KayBeast, and for this week's video I am bringing you another sketchbook tour. Now I know that in previous videos I said that this week would be Posca paint markers instead, but I totally forgot that I'm going out of town next week, the week that this video is going up. I'm actually recording this the Saturday before, but I'm going to be out of town Monday through Thursday, the week before this video goes up. Yeah, from the 9th to the 12th I'm going to be out of town, which is usually when I record my videos. So I need to record something quick, and I still have a whole bunch of sketchbooks left, so I figured I'd do another one for this week, and then I'll try out the paint markers for next week. In case you're wondering, I'm actually going out of town to get a tattoo. I'm getting a tattoo on my ankle with my friends. We're all going to the same artist to get different stuff. So if you're curious to see how that turned out, I will post pictures on my Instagram and my Twitter. So those might be up already by the time you're watching that. I'm excited. But yeah. So let's get into the sketchbook. This is labeled as number 5. I worked on this one from September of 2005 to April of 2006. I was 17 when I did this one. So, like I mentioned in my previous sketchbook tour, I usually worked out of several sketchbooks at one time. I usually had a medium-sized one, a small one, and a big one, based on what I felt like doing or where I was. This one was my travel size. I had several of these style sketchbooks that I bought. They're Canson sketchbooks, which I guess I didn't remember, but I don't know what style they are, but I bought them at a small local art store in downtown Lowell. It was right down the street from my high school, so I went there to get my art supplies a lot when I was in high school and college. So these are my go-to travel sketchbooks. They had, you know, this little thing to keep it from getting messed up when it was in my bag. I liked the hardcover, it didn't fall apart on me, and I would just doodle on this in classes and lunch, at home, whatever, but this was one I brought with me. So let's see what I actually did in here. Well, this looks familiar. I think I did a similar character study like this in another sketchbook. So this is just some random fantasy girl. I'm just gonna open it like this. I don't think I ever really drew in the backs of paper, but just in case. Yeah, no, I didn't do that. I didn't. Alright. Random character study, I guess. I drew a lot of girls in weird outfits. That was kind of what I did. So this I've drawn before. It was my OCs. This OC doesn't exist in the story anymore, but she did back then, so I was drawing them in dresses a lot back then because the story was still new. Griffin. I did a lot of fantasy creatures. I called this Dragonfly. I drew a tiny dragon. I was getting into drawing little dragons and little creatures around that time. It's my OC again, in a dress, looking sad. I don't know. Didn't finish that, just another random girl. Not sure what that is. Just another random girl. I was actually really proud of this one. I remember really liking how the curls in her hair turned out. I drew Claudia from Interview with the Vampire. I wrote it, and I even tried like doing like a fancy word. It's it was one of my favorite movies back then. I still really enjoy it, and I really do love the book series a lot. At least the first 4 of the Vampire Chronicles. After the 4th one, they get kind of, I would say they get kind of weird, but they were kind of weird to begin with. But it got even weirder, too weird for me. So. But I always liked her character, so I decided to draw her, and I remember being really proud with how the curls turned out because I wasn't drawing curly hair often back then, so I was like, it actually looked curly, so I was very happy about that. I do remember having a fight with a friend though. I was showing her the picture on the bus on the way home from school, and she touched the picture and moved her finger and smudged it by her eye, which I never got out, and it's like the first rule, like, you don't touch the art. Not touching. So I remember having a very stern conversation with my bus friend about that. I don't think she appreciated it. My OC again. Did a lot of character sheets, never drew the actual comic. Profile study. These were studies from some reference I had. I was trying to build a scene for my story, so I found I needed like this fancy staircase or something. So I found some pictures and I was trying to plan out the environment. Should have just kept it flipped. Alright, another OC. Again, doing some planning for an environment scene that I never actually drew. More planning, I guess. Just did various character studies of my OCs from this particular story. Reference, I'm not sure what this is, but this was studies of dresses from a magazine that my mom had. So I did a lot of those. And then I decided to put a character in it. Didn't really finish. It was kind of a loose sketch. This was done in the course of a day at school. I got really bored in my art class, and my art class, my senior year of high school was very self-directed because we were part of the Fine Arts Academy at Lowell High, and you kind of chose what you wanted to focus on. So I wasn't sure what I wanted to do that day, so I just took my sketchbook and started drawing with my classmates. So it was my classmate Colleen, my classmate Sam. Still friends with them on Facebook, but I don't really see them often anymore. And then I just got really bored, and me and two of my friends doodled on this page over the course of several classes during that day. So that's supposed to be a sketch of me. That's me drawing my friend Pervy, who was very hyper and excitable back then, and we're drawing turtles, and I don't even know. But we got bored and started doodling in class. Okay, sorry, I had to change my battery. This was... my teacher wrote this actually in here. She was trying to teach me about perspective and stuff. So she wrote about foreground, middle ground, background. I think I was working on a painting in class, and she was trying to teach me about perspective and stuff. Demon thing, I'm not really sure. This might have been loosely inspired by card captors, probably was. So, my OC again with the character page. Never actually did the comic, just drew lots of character pages. And there's another character, and another one, and another one. I really need to actually draw this comic. And more characters. And more characters. Like, I literally would just draw cast pages and then I never did anything else. So, and half of these characters don't even look like this anymore, so I don't even know if, like it's not really useful. I'm not really sure what this is. A lot of random doodles. Mostly of my OC. I saw Catwoman. I had to draw her. Yeah, the Halle Berry Catwoman is one of my guilty pleasure movies. It is so awful, but it's Halle Berry in leather, so yeah, I still enjoy watching it, even though it's completely trash. Random girl. I think I was just trying to draw a pose or something. Yeah. Pose studies and stuff. A lot of these I think were copied from manga that I had. Hair studies, a pose study, stuff like that. Then I started drawing these like elemental sprites or something. It just was like I drew her first, and then it just became a thing, and I did a bunch of them. I might actually revisit these because the idea of them is kind of interesting, but I think I could do them way better now. So earthy sprite, and I even tried fancy lettering. I did a watery one. It's just a mermaid with a bikini, but yeah. I guess I only did the two. I could have sworn I did more. Maybe this, I think this one was going to be the fiery sprite, and then I didn't like how it was going, and I just gave up. This is an action pose study. Yeah, I actually got this from Battle Angel Alita. I wanted to do action drawings, and so I used that for my reference mostly. So I just kind of turned that into something. This was one of my classmates. I'm not sure which one, actually. Might have been two. I think it was the same girl. I don't know. Someone who sat in front of me in one of my classes, and we had downtime, and I was bored, so I was like, hey, can I draw you? And she said, sure. So, one of my OCs again. Study page for her. Again, this OC doesn't exist in the story anymore, but I was kind of developing who she was then. Random girl in a bathing suit. That never turned into anything. I don't even know what that was. Fire demon. Maybe I was trying to do the fiery sprite again, but I never actually wrote on it, so I don't know. Random girl. Another random girl. Here we go, airy sprite, and it's literally just an angel. So, with a pose that's like done like a million times. I used to follow, the website's not up anymore, but I used to follow, it was called neondragonart.com. Jessica Pfeiffer, I think, I don't know. I followed her art a lot in high school, and I bought some of her books, actually, and she did a lot of girls with poses like these. And it was kind of a shame that her stuff's not up anymore, because that was one of my go-tos for inspiration when I was in high school. So, this was probably influenced by that. Bunch of eyes of my OCs. I drew Saphira from Aragon, because, you know, it was a book about dragons, and I still genuinely enjoy the series, even though it's pretty flawed. But I had to draw the dragon character, because dragons. A random girl. I was trying out a new way of drawing at this time. I think this was influenced by a manga where I was attempting to draw things so slightly different with different proportions. I don't know. My OCs again. Trying different outfits. I never finished that. This might have been a study from Memoirs of a Geisha. Yeah, the movie and the book came out, and I got the book, and I was kind of obsessed with the book for a little while, so I kept trying to draw the actress. Griffin study. I need to do more griffins. I like griffins. More mythical creatures. I did this little series of mythical creature sculptures in my art class senior year. I showed them in a previous video. It was my sculptures and other large works video. I don't have them anymore. I did that video specifically because none of them I could really keep. They were all falling apart and I needed to get rid of them. So I did that video so that I could have something to show that they existed before I threw them away, because they were all becoming destroyed. But this is me planning out, I think, different ones I wanted to do. I did a griffin, I made Cerberus, and I did one more. I think I did a Sphinx, but I was coming up with ideas. I forgot this one was in here. Aww, this is my baby. This is Diamond. Oh my goodness. I took a little photo of him with a crappy digital camera, and I drew it. Yeah, this is my boa constrictor. Aww. Yeah, I drew him a lot when I was younger. I need to do more art of him, actually. So this was him in his old cage 13 years ago. Yeah, he would have been 7 in this picture. Yeah. I still have him, by the way. He's 19 now. He's gonna be 20 in October. And actually, he's due to get fed the day that I'm recording this. But yeah, that's my baby. I need to do more art of him. Definitely need to do more art of him. He's not exactly a good model, though. He doesn't really hold still, so, you know. But yeah, he's my baby. Another griffin. I don't know what that leg is doing. I think I was trying to just study it, and then it just kind of, I don't know, broken leg. This was drawn directly from Tsubasa. I really liked the way her outfit looked, and I was drawing a lot of, you know, Japanese schoolgirl outfits on my characters because it was in Japan at the time. So I definitely used that as reference. But as you can see, I wound up using that particular manga as influence for the comic for quite a while at this time. It's gone through a lot of changes since then, but yep. And I think this was my OC. Might just be a random girl. Kind of hard to tell. Some of them kind of wind up looking the same after a while. Sphinx. Ignore the boobies. Well, you know, they had them. Sphinxes had them. That was in the original myth they did, and I did a sculpture of one, so. Random girl, and I don't know what that outfit is doing, but I just like to make up weird outfits, so that's. I remember in high school, like, teachers and stuff would ask me, like, oh, do you want to go into fashion design? No, I just like drawing weird clothes. Didn't finish this study. This was me doing some study work for my comic. I was designing some items for one of my characters. She still had, like in this particular story, she still has these items. She's a witch character, so she has a book of shadows and stuff, but the design of them is way different. So I haven't actually sat down and designed them in a while. That comic still needs a lot of work. But this is me figuring out what it would look like. Another character sheet page. These were outfits drawn from my mom's magazine. She was a practicing witch for a while. She was paganism and all that stuff, and she got these magazines with like witchy supplies and stuff. So I would draw from them a lot because they were pretty. I did a lot of pictures of like my characters with like leaves, but it was like, you know, in like manga you see it's always like the cherry blossom petals, and I kind of did that. So there's one character, there's another one, and there's another one. This was a study from Tsubasa. More mythical creatures. I really wanted to do like this big thing of a bunch of like unknown ones, so this is like a manticore. I'm not sure what this one is, I can't remember. A phoenix, obviously. That might have been random from my head. So, my OC again. Holy crap, would you look at that arm. Yeah, this was definitely inspired by Tsubasa, because that comic has very exaggerated proportions, and I kind of adopted that style for a while. Because I thought it looked nice, but now I'm like, no. It's another OC, study, random, I'm not really sure what this one is. I was just drawing a random character, I guess. Just a random person. It didn't turn into anything, but I don't know. Not really sure what inspired this one. Didn't finish that. Character study or something, but I never finished it, so I'm not sure. My OC, one of them, didn't finish. Whatever this was, I didn't finish that either. Another OC. This, not sure what just a random girl in a field, I guess. Trying to do like a background. Yeah, I don't know. Dragon girl character. Random girl in the snow. I know for a fact this pose was borrowed from a comic. Like, the gesture and the expression's just too good for it to come from my head at this point. I absolutely borrowed that from something. And then I might have just built up around it, but yeah, my ability to draw hands was not this good at 17, so that is absolutely from reference. And I guess that's it. Yet again, I have a problem with actually finishing sketchbooks. There's usually like 1 or 2 or 10 pages at the end that I just never filled. And then I bought a new sketchbook and just decided to draw on that one instead. So, yeah. But anyway, that does it for this week's video. I needed something quick to record because, like I said, I'm out of town for several days and I don't really have time to record something longer. But I am really excited to try out those Posca pens, so that will be the video next week. Not sure what I'm going to draw with them just yet. I still got to play with them. But yeah, that's for next week's video. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next week. Bye!